What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3, and we are back once again with another Tru Heel Heat Check, episode 20, and this time we are counting down the top 10 best NBA teams of all time. And of course, to do that, I am joined by my esteemed colleague. He is the true pothead or true pot heel of the Tru Heel Heat gang and the number one Knicks fan of the Tru Heel Heat gang, the one and only Chris G. How are you doing, CG?
Feeling good. Ready to get into this top 10 list. Got some interesting choices, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to have no controversy and upset no people with our top 10 list, similar to our top 20 greatest NBA players.
Maybe a few. I think we'll have a similar list besides maybe like one or two teams, and the order might be different, but I feel like we'll be on the same page for most of them.
Yeah, I think the top like 3-4 teams will have similar, but we'll probably have them in different places. But we'll get into that. As always, we appreciate y'all. If you're watching us on the premiere of this video, we appreciate y'all. If you're watching on demand, remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. You can drop a thumbs up on the video. It helps us out so much. You can also share this video with all your basketball family, friends, and fans on all your favorite social media platforms. If you are new to the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the live chat if you're watching us on the premiere. But most of all, let us know in the comments down below your top 10 greatest NBA teams of all time. We'll get into the details of how we made our list in a bit here. But of course, to start things off, we got to talk about the current going on in the NBA season. We are now deep into January. So you're already hearing people talk about the demise of certain teams or the rise of other teams. And guys, it's only mid-January. These teams have not even got into their final form. There's too much ahead for them as far as like strength of schedule, the trade deadline, all-star break for us to get too out of hand, because I said that one of our topics that we were going to discuss until recently they started playing better was a lot of people were talking about how the Suns had usurped the Rockets at one point in the standings, and people were saying, who got the better of the KD trade? I'm here to let y'all know it's still the Rockets. The Rockets are in a much better place, but we do have to, shout out the Suns because they have been playing well. But what have you thought about that discourse of it all with the KD trade retrospective that I've seen on social media as well as on YouTube as of late?
I mean, I don't think there's a clear winner on either side. I think right now it looks like a win-win for both teams. Both teams got better than they were last year. You know what I mean? The Rockets got the one piece they were missing to kind of put them in that next level. And then the Suns just kind of retooled and built the team around Devin Booker, which is, what they should have just been doing from the get, instead of bringing in all these superstars to try to, especially guys KD is arguably a better player than, Devin Booker right now. So to bring in a guy like that kind of messes up D-Book's game. So now D-Book is playing his best basketball again because he has a team built around him, and both teams won for as of now. So why can't we just have a win-win?
Yeah, and we're filming this on the day that we plan on dropping this on the YouTube channel, January 14th. So as of now, the Rockets are 23-14, while the Suns are 24-16. I think that the Suns have beaten a lot of good teams. They've won 7 of their last 10. I think that the Rockets are coming together. They've had to deal with like injuries and stuff like that. Sengun being out. So they'll get it together. I don't think we've seen the final form of the Rockets as of yet, but we do have to, like I said before, show some love to the Suns because they've exceeded expectations. They were not one of the teams that I had making it into the playoffs. I had them maybe like a fringe play-in team, but they are in the 7th seed and they're looking good. They look better than teams that I did have in the playoff contention, like the Warriors or even like the Mavericks at the start of the season when we did our first our predictions for the regular season. I had the Mavericks ahead of the Suns, and the Suns are playing really well. So 24-16 right now.
Yeah, they're a scrappy team. They're one of those teams that they're going to be aggressive. They're going to be physical. And then if D-Book gets hot and the rest of the guys on the team can hit jump shots, so they're kind of a tough team to beat. You need guys like Dylan Brooks on that team. That gritty vet that's going to piss people off and kind of motivate the young guys on the team, and then D-Book can take over. So just a well-built team this year, and hopefully they keep playing good. But there's no shade to the Rockets. They haven't been 100% healthy, I don't think, all season, maybe for like the first 5-10 games of the season, and then everybody started, falling. The Thompson brother missed a few games. Sengun was out. Jabari Smith was out. So once they get like full health and they have their depth and everybody just kind of starts to click, watch out for the Rockets.
Yeah, I think they're gonna play tough like the second half of the season for sure. But there's a bunch of like pressing topics going on in the NBA right now. A lot of the talk has been surrounding our good friend John Morant. As most recently, we talked about this, that the news broke when we were doing the last episode, Tru Heel Heat Check, number 19. Romeo put in the chat that John Morant is now being basically put out there for trade consideration. What have you thought about the whole John Morant trade conversation, and who do you think he's going to go to? I've seen like a bunch of different names out there, whether it's the Nets, whether it's I think I've seen one with like the Timberwolves where I'm like, they shouldn't do that. They're playing really well right now. The best one that I heard for both Ja and the team would probably be the Milwaukee Bucks as like a last-ditch effort to basically tell Giannis, hey, we're serious. We got an all-star guard for you. Yeah, he's like 2 years past his prime already, but yeah, he's an all-star guard that we want to put next to you. So who do you think is like the favorites to get John Morant, and what have you thought about the whole conversation going on with that?
I mean, it depends. This goes back to like the trade, right? Where like the value is kind of up in the air. Like what's the value of John Morant, right? How much does a team want him? How much are they willing to give up? And if it's a lot of teams in the race for John Morant, and the asking price isn't that high, or the trades available aren't that good, then I could easily see him go to the Bucks. Probably got to flip like Kuzma and somebody else to make the contract work. Maybe attach a first round pick. I don't know if the Bucks got any first round picks, but if they do, they could attach one. I don't know. That's the only way I could see him going to the Bucks. If you're a team like the Nets and you're desperate enough, they trade, maybe a couple first round picks and bring in Ja to be that cornerstone point guard that they can build around. They're definitely going to get more picks or some assets for Michael Porter Jr. when they unload him at the trade deadline. So they could build around John Morant next year. He'll be under contract for the next 2 seasons, I think. So I think those are the first 2 teams that come to mind. I heard the Heat might be a player too, but like if you're the Heat, you got to give up Tyler Hero, maybe like Jaquez Jr. I could see a package like that. I don't know. There's options out there. I mean, Ja's a talented dude. I think he'll help a contending team for sure. So if he, he's been out of trouble, and now it just kind of depends on his health. He just got to stay healthy. Maybe get his mind right, and a change of scenery is what he needs. So We'll see. I know he's definitely on the move though, and this is going back to last year. They've been talking about this, so I
Yeah.
think he's definitely on the move.
Another team that was I didn't mention was the Toronto Raptors, who seem to be kind of big buyers as they're trying to go all in to win now during the trade deadline, especially with how they've been playing this regular season. They're a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference. It really feels like there's that sense of urgency in the Eastern Conference, people knowing that this is a year that has been, maligned with big stars getting injured, like Jason Tatum in the playoffs last season, Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers, and the favorites to win the East, whether it's like the Pistons, people think they're too young, whether it's the Knicks, people think they're too inconsistent. So it is a good time if the Raptors did want to buy now. That would be an interesting team for Ja to go to.
I just don't know who they would give up, right? Without giving up anybody in the core.
Yeah.
Like, do you give up RJ or IQ, who both have been playing the best basketball of their career, right? You can't give up either one of those guys. You're not going to give up Brandon Ingram or
Maybe
Scotty Barnes.
Kaminsky?
I mean, how much value? I mean, it depends on what's the market for Ja Morant, because if you're going to find a better package than what the Raptors, because the Raptors aren't going to give you any of their top talent. So there's a team out there that will give you one of their top talents or something similar, one of their core guys for Ja Morant. So I think they'll find a better package. I don't think the Raptors got what it takes to pull that move.
We'll see. We'll see what happens there. But of course, we'll keep you posted on the latest with that. One person who doesn't seem like they're going to get traded this season is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is injured. I know. What a shocker, right?
Color me shocked.
Color me shocked. Anthony Davis is injured yet again. We had the big report from Shams. I believe this was a few days ago that he had sustained a ligament damage in his left hand. Depending on a second opinion, if surgery is required. And then it was reported, I believe this was on Monday, Shams reported that Anthony Davis is getting surgery, or was expected to get surgery on his hand, and would be out for the rest of the regular season. Pretty much, he was going to be out for months. But they did. I think Shams did have another update. I'm trying to read it right now on his Twitter.
Update. He got a second opinion.
Yeah, he got a second opinion, so he will not require surgery on his left hand. With specialist, he got the second opinion from specialist Dr. Stephen Shin in Los Angeles. Love those Los Angeles doctors. And he will be reevaluated in 6 weeks. So he also reported, as reported earlier, the Mavericks have had renewed trade talks around Davis with multiple interested teams, and those conversations are continuing as Dallas stands 15-25, 12th in the Western Conference, and prioritizing the big picture outlook around Cooper Flag. So it seems that basically they're given a timeline on the Anthony Davis trade. They better make this trade possible in the next 6 weeks before he's reevaluated and then potentially out for the rest of the season. So what do you think about this whole kind of drama and now a clock being set on them potentially making an Anthony Davis trade while he's still injured with this hand injury, and the amount of injuries this dude has had in less than a year is astronomical. I know people have said for years that Anthony Davis gets injured or he's made of glass, but it seems like it's gotten worse since he went to the Dallas Mavericks. It's like all the mojo is just gone from his body, and he is just getting injured at a rapid rate. I think I counted it on the Rated Raw review on Tuesday, and I was like, it's like 9 different injuries he's had in less than a year.
Yeah, and they're all weird injuries, right? Like a torn hip abductor, fucking left hand nerve damage, ligament damage. I mean, it's just it's unfortunate because when he's on the
so this is the list: abdominal injury, abductor injury, eye injury, thigh injury, groin injury, Achilles injury, leg injury, calf injury, and a hand ligament injury.
I mean, it's It's a lot of different parts of your body that can't stay healthy, unfortunately. I mean, but when he's on the court, he's one of them. He's an elite player. Like, it's a shame. We've seen Anthony Davis have the ability to take over games, and which is impressive for somebody his size, right? He has like a very unique skill set. There is going to be a team that's stupid enough to trade for him, though. I don't know that team's name, but there is going to be a team that's going to trade for him. I don't think the trade is, again, value, right? I don't think it's going to be too much because you're trading for a hefty contract, and a guy that comes with a shitload of injuries, right? But he's an interesting trade piece after you trade for him, which is weird to think about because he still has another year under his contract after this year. And there's still value in him, honestly, when he's healthy. So maybe he gets out of Dallas and his fucking body fully recuperates. Maybe there's something in the air that's just not good for him. I don't know. I thought Dallas air was pretty clean. It was cleaner than New York City's air, I'll tell you that much. So I love Dallas, and I don't know what's going on with him there, but maybe it's the Mavericks franchise. He just needs he's another one. Maybe he just needs a change of scenery and he'll get back to that elite form.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, less than a year with 9 different injuries is just insane to me. And you said you don't know the name of the team stupid enough to trade for him. I do. The Atlanta Hawks.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, see, but the Hawks have contracts that they could trade for him that won't really affect their, like, you give up Porzingis' expiring contract, which benefits the Mavericks because then they get all that cap space back next year. You throw in like another, maybe like some draft capital. There's the Hawks trade makes sense for both teams, so it wouldn't be that bad because then you have another year with Anthony Davis, and then you could try Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, the other young guys, Anthony Davis, and like have a solid team in the East. So the trade makes sense for both teams, but we'll see if it happens.
We shall see, and that's another one we'll kind of keep you updated on the latest when it comes to that. One final current NBA note that we got to get into is Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder coming off the heels of my Lakers pitifully losing to the Sacramento Kings earlier this week. Dennis Schroeder, after the game, apparently got into a fight. He got a 3-game suspension. He got a 3-game suspension. Comes after he slapped Luka Doncic in the face outside of the Lakers locker room, or something. It said unknown Laker, so I'm not going to say Luka Doncic. Let me not say that. But the Shams tweet said that the NBA has suspended Sacramento Kings guard Dennis Schroeder for 3 games for confronting and attempting to strike another player 40 minutes after the Kings lost to the Lakers in Los Angeles on December 28th.
So the suspected Laker is Luka, right? Because him and Luka were talking shit. Talking shit all game, right? He basically told him he fumbled that bag, which he did. Schroeder's mad at the world because he knows he fumbled that bag and he gets trolled every day for it. That's his fucking problem. Next time, don't deny an extension when you think you're a fucking top tier point guard and you're not, right? But that's a different.
That's one of the stupidest decisions in NBA history.
One of the worst business decisions in the NBA, definitely for a player individually, definitely gambled on himself and it did not pay off, right? No. So that was one, and then attempted to strike the player. So Schroeder basically re-quoted that like on an Instagram post and said attempted with the crying emoji, basically insinuating that he did slap Luka outside the locker room. Did it work? It probably happened. If he got a 3-game suspension, he probably got slapped. But I love Luka, man. Don't go. I hope he didn't go down like no bitch. Look.
Nah. I don't think Luka did. Luka was talking wild shit. He was like, should have signed that contract.
Should have signed that with a smile. So devious too. Should have signed that contract, bro. Crazy.
It's insane. Crazy. It's insane. Oh man, I love NBA talk like this. This is great. Yes, I'm seeing the message on Instagram now. Attempted with the eyes emoji and the laughing emoji.
Yep. So you got slapped. Hey, it is what it is.
Hey, it is what it is. No one saw it. So did it really happen? We talked about this with the Will Chamberlain 100-point game. Did it? If there's no footage, did it really happen?
Yeah. It's an overrated altercation in NBA history.
There you go. There you go, right there. All right, that is enough with the current NBA talk. It is now time for the nitty gritty, the reason why we're here for this edition of Tru Heel Heat Check. Our top 10 greatest NBA teams of all time. Now, we can do one where, we list like the greatest dynasties of all time, but I wanted to start off with just the team. So, how we did this is we pick a team and a specific year. It has to be a specific season, what they did in the regular season, what they did in the playoffs, one specific team. So we can't say like the 1960 Boston Celtics, or we can't say the 1980s Showtime Lakers. We have to pick a specific year and who are the greatest teams for what they accomplished in that season, championships. We have at high value, of course, if they completed the job and raised the Larry O'Brien at the end of the season, the accomplishment of the players and the players' legacies on that team, and just the overall impact they had on the NBA in that season, and how much of a legacy they, as a whole, that team left behind in that season and playoff run. So, we're going to do it how we did our top 20 greatest NBA players of all time. I'll say my number 10. Chris will say his number 10. Then we'll go to number 9, number 8, and so on and so forth. So this is our top 10 greatest NBA teams of all time. And I am starting off with number 10. This was the hardest one for me. I think like it was fairly easy to go like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 was fairly easy for me, and then everything else I had to kind of like weigh the pros and cons. I like flipped a couple of teams in the middle and stuff like that. But number 10 was like blank for me. I knew the 9 teams that I wanted to have on this list, and number 10, it was like, okay, I can go with one of the 60s of Celtics teams, but I didn't really get to like see them firsthand. So I would have to go by like Basketball Reference and stats and accomplishments with that. And even like the 70s with like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Milwaukee Bucks. That was one of the teams I kind of debated putting in here as well. I went though with a team that I actually saw, and I think this is the greatest team that this dynasty ever had. And it's crazy because it's the last championship team of this dynasty. I went with the 2014 San Antonio Spurs because I feel this is one of the deepest teams ever. You got Duncan, Kawhi, Parker, Ginobili, Boris Diaw is one of the best Spurs role players of all time. Thiago Splitter is one of the greatest names in sports history, and he was a big contributor playing the center role next to Duncan in the starting lineup. Patty Mills at the peak of Patty Mills when he became like a name and a role player that you remembered. Danny Green making his name for himself as one of the great role players of that generation of the 2010s. And then just overall, they're, like I said, one of the deepest teams ever. Won 62 games, 62-20 in the regular season. So a great record, led the Western Conference. And most of all, they dominated that Heat squad. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh in that 2014 final. They by average beat them by 15 points a game. Like, that is domination on another level with one of the all-time great teams. Spoiler alert, I do have one of those Heatles teams in my top 10, but the 2014 Spurs, I had to show them love. So they're my number 10. Who's yours?
So number 10 spot probably should have went to another team. My number 10 spot. My list pretty much it's kind of on par with like how your team is, how your list is probably constructed. Most of the teams I've seen or I've seen footage of, but then just based on the rosters and the people on those teams and the impact, that's how I compiled my list. It might be a little jumbled up, but we'll get there. But number 10 was the easiest pick for me because it was going to be my most biased pick because it is the 1969 to 1970 New York Knicks. Willis Reed coming out game seven with a torn ACL. hitting the first 2 buckets on Wilt overrated the bum Chamberlain, number 12 Chamberlain. No, honestly, it's a biased pick, but I think it's a team that could be justified as top 15, maybe not top 10. But first championship, New York Knicks history. Clyde Frazier, one of the greatest point guards of all time, defensive point guards of all time for sure. They had they did. I think this is before they got Earl the Pearl, but they definitely had Willis Reed, Dave DeBuscher. I mean, they just had like a loaded squad, like guys that could.
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson. Guys that just bang down low and just like be physical and stuff like that. And that's how they beat the Lakers team, because that Lakers team was pretty good. It's just they were more physical. Bias pick.
All fair. That is fair. It is a biased pick, but I think it's a fair one. All right. Number 9 for me, I went with the 1989 Detroit Pistons. I had to get one of these Piston teams in here, and I was not going to put the Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, and Rip Hamilton Pistons because I hate them so much.
That's biased. That's one of the greatest defensive teams. One of the greatest defensive teams. The Bad Boy
Pistons is a greater defensive team. Like they made basically defense. They made defense their staple, their identity. The Bad Boy Pistons is one of the greatest defensive teams of all time. And in that playoffs, they beat the Jordan Bulls. And they beat the Magic's Lakers back to back to win the championship. And just the defensive players that they had on this team, like from 1 through 5, and then on the bench they had guys like Rodman. You had Bill Laimbeer. You got Joe Dumars. You got Isaiah Thomas. One of the greatest kind of finals runs for any point guard that we have ever seen. So I had to show love to the Bad Boy Pistons. So number 9, the 1989 Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, it probably would have been in my 10th spot if it wasn't for the Knicks. Those teams were good. But in the 9th spot for me is the 2013 to 2014 Spurs. They beat the Heatles. That team was just stacked. It said Thiago Splitter. I was like, holy shit, did I forget he was on that team? I think Gary Harris Jr. was on the team, right? Him and Danny Green was fucking putting up 7 threes a game each. I think Danny Green still holds a postseason record for most threes in a finals or something like that. I think he had like multiple games with like 6 or 7 threes. And I seen Danny Green in New York City coming out of a parking lot that summer. I was like, yo, Danny, and he just gave it a piece on it. But anyway, great team, old team, but they were good and they were fun to watch. And they beat the Heat, which I was ecstatic about. So they get the 9th spot.
Exactly. I think we were all happy that they beat the Heat. So that's why we're going to show them love here. And speaking of which, coming in at number 8 for me, the 2013 Miami Heat. That Miami Heat team, that is when they became like the most powerful team. Like the first year they had their growing pains starting off, and then eventually they made their run to the finals. And of course, LeBron had his worst performance in a finals ever, even worse than 2007 against who was against the Dallas Mavericks in 2011. And then 2012, of course, they win their first championship. That great moment where LeBron's like, he finally did it and stuff like that. But 2013, Miami Heat, they have a championship under their belt, and they just went off in that regular season. 27 straight wins. 27 straight wins, the second most in NBA history in the regular season. One of the best runs, second all-time runs as far as like consecutive wins. And then that memorable finals run against the Spurs, one of the best finals that I ever seen, with that shot from Ray Allen. And you got not only the Heatles of LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, you have the addition of Ray Allen, who was just a key acquisition for them. But they got Shane Battier, you got Udonis Haslem. They had a whole set of role players that just made them just unstoppable. So the 2013 Miami Heat, I had to get one of these Heat teams in this top 10. So they're my number 8.
Yeah, I got them on my list. They're a little higher though, because they were so fucking dominant. It makes me sick. This spot though, the 8th spot, I have the 1990 to 1991 Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Phil Jackson, first championship. That was the first of that wrote the story, you know what I mean? So that was a very important team. They won 60 plus games, maybe 65 games that season or something like that, 64 games. But they were, I mean, MVP Jordan that year. It was like a complete season for them. They had to beat some hard teams too to get to that first finals. They had the bad boy Pistons. They might have even had the Celtics with like retiring Larry Bird. So it was a tough go to get there.
And then beat Magic in the finals to win it all. So yeah, I tried to limit myself to repeats. I only have one repeat of a dynasty. I only have one repeat one, and we'll see why later on in my list here. But no, actually, we're gonna see now the repeat team. I'm sorry, number 7. The 2015-2016 Golden State Warriors. Yes, I had to do it. Despite not winning a championship, which is the only reason that is this low on my list, that 2016 Golden State Warriors, they are one of the greatest teams of all time. The record-breaking 73-9 regular season. They led the league in point differential. They were top 5. They were number 1 offense, top 5 in defense. You got Steph Curry with the unanimous MVP, one of the greatest seasons of any player ever. Steph and Clay set the 3-point record. Both of them set the 3-point record for a regular season. They had the 3-1 comeback against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, they blow a 3-1 lead in the finals. That's the reason why they're only this low. But I'm sorry, if I'm going to have one team on my list that didn't win a championship, it's this team. This is the best team to not win a championship.
100%. I mean, even though they won the championship, they were so fucking dominant that I got them higher on the list. But so
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I put them 7. I don't blame you if you got them higher.
I mean, I think they're the team on this list that has like the biggest range. You could either put them at 1 or you could put them at 10, simply because they were so dominant, but they didn't win the championship. So anywhere you put them on the list, they deserve to be on the list, even though they didn't win the championship. But this is 7, right?
Yeah.
I have the 86-87 Lakers, Magic MVP. They beat the Celtics after I think they lost the year prior. And so they came back to this was the rematch. Showtime Lakers, man. Well built team. James Worthy. I think Kareem was Kareem still on the team?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Kareem was still on the team.
Kareem's on the team for all the championships. The last championships in '88. So he was that was that was a good team. Another 60-plus win team. Definitely. I have them on my list, but we'll get into that. I have them a little bit higher than you. Coming in at number 6 for me, though, I have another Lakers team. Yes, my list is very biased, and this is just the first of a few Laker teams that I have on my list. But I had to show love to the ancestor, to the past, and since I got so much heat, thank you to everyone who commented on our last Tru Heel Heat Check and on the short of me giving Wilt Chamberlain number 12. I'm going to give Wilt Chamberlain some love here. At number 6, I have the 1971-1972 Los Angeles Lakers. They set the record at the time that still stands. 33 straight wins in the regular season. That is like unstoppable dominance that they had. They had the 1-2 punch that was unlike anything at that time of Wilt Chamberlain dominating down low, averaging like 40 points on 15 boards and a couple of blocks and assists per game. You had Jerry West, who was the best point guard, 2 guard at that time, best guard in the NBA. That was your 1-2 punch. They set the regular season record at the time with 69 wins in the regular season. So yeah, I had to show love to the past and to Wilt Chamberlain. So number 6, the 1972 Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah, 33 straight against some plumbers and mechanics, right? Yeah. You know what it was?
No. It's 1970. There was actually some players.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he was motivated because the year prior to that, he got spanked by the New York Knicks in the fucking finals. So he came back with a vengeance that year. And I think that's Jerry West's only championship. So that was that was his only championship team. So they deserve to be up there.
Wilt won 1 or 2?
I think he
One or
got
two,
two, but he might have
Okay.
one prior to the Lakers, right? Because he was in Philly for a little bit.
with the Philly Warriors, maybe.
Yeah, he might have
I'm
one with them, but I'm
gonna
not too
double
sure.
check this.
Yeah,
This fraud,
unless he
Wilt
has two with the
Chamberlain.
Lakers, he might have two with the
This
Lakers.
fraud, Wilt Chamberlain. How many championships he has two. Yeah, he had one with the Philadelphia 76ers in 1967. So this was his second championship. So yeah, he one of the most dominant players with Jerry West, set the record. So I showed them love. Number 6 on my
The
list.
67 one was definitely against Plumbers. All right, number
Yeah,
7.
67 was against Plumbers for sure.
Number 7, right? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, number 6.
6. All right, we're at 6. All right, this is where I have the 2012 to 2013 Miami Heat beat the Spurs, back-to-back championships, just dominant throughout the whole season, like completely dominant, and in the playoffs, like until they ran into the Spurs, which was saved, by Ray Allen and that whole play and shit. They went 7 games. It was a tough series, but they deserved it. And we kind of underestimate how good that 2012 to 2013 Spurs team was, to get to the championship, and then they had to go up against the Heatles, so. But yeah, great team. I hated every single second that I had to watch them.
It was torture for a lot of the league to watch how dominant,
especially the Eastern Conference. And then in 2012 to 2013, I think that was the year. Might have been the year where we finally like pulled it together. We had J Kidd and Tyson Chandler, like that was like our best year, before this recent run. So that was the team where like, oh shit, we got a chance, and then we didn't even see the Heat in the finals, man. We got smoked by the Pacers.
Yeah, and then the Pacers got smoked by the Heat.
By the Heat, yeah.
Oh man, so we're now in the top 5, Chris. Coming in at number 5. Yes, it sounds familiar. Another Los Angeles Lakers team. The 1986-1987 Los Angeles Lakers. You talked about them earlier. The Showtime Lakers. I had to get one of those teams on the list, and I think 87 was the best year for the Showtime Lakers. Showtime really revolutionized fast-break basketball. Magic Johnson won the regular season MVP and the finals MVP. They won 65. They were 65-17 in the regular season. You have Magic, you have Kareem, you got James Worthy, you got Michael Cooper, you got Brian Russell. So like this team is just so
Kurt
deep.
Rambis. I think you might have
Kurt Rambis. Like
spot.
The list goes on and on. Like this is just one of the greatest teams that's ever been assembled. Magic kind of revolutionizing the league. Really, the rivalry between Magic and Bird like saved the NBA in the 80s. And this is one of the best final series that they ever had against one another. I remember Magic with the hook shot game winner in that series as well. I watched that tape of those playoffs so many times. Like that was my first introduction to NBA. Even when I was a young kid, I had to be like 2-3 years old when my dad started showing me tapes that he recorded on the VCR of the Lakers in the 80s. And this was one of those series that I remember like vividly remember watching. And I've gone back and watched it when I was older as well with ESPN Classics and YouTube and stuff like that. Like those Magic and Kareem Lakers had to be on this list. So I show some love to 1987 coming in at number 5.
Yeah, well deserved. One of the best teams out there. My 5th spot gets a little murky. This might be a team that you might not even have up here, but I have them for one reason solely, and that's because they beat the 73-9 Warriors and won the championship. So at 5, as much as I don't want to put them there, I have the 2015 to 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's fair. I that was one of the teams that I was debating at that number 10 spot because they are just ridiculous. LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin Love, they dominated in the Eastern Conference, much like the Golden State Warriors dominated in the Eastern Conference. They just don't get talked about as much until you get to that final series. And I feel like the 2016 regular season, that might be another list we do. 2016 regular season might be one of the best seasons ever in NBA history, just between the Golden State Warriors were able to do, what the Cleveland Cavaliers were able to do. That's Kobe and Tim Duncan's farewell season. I think it's Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett's farewell seasons. So 3 of the all-time greats, three guys that we have in our top 20 all-time that got their farewell seasons that year. Like, there was just so much. And then that playoff series, that 3-1 comeback with the Golden State Warriors and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then 3-1 comeback in the finals, blocked by James, one of the greatest on-court moments of all time. Like, yeah, and for them to win that playoffs, to win that finals, I don't have them on my top 10, but they would definitely be number 11.
Yeah, I mean, 5's probably a little high, but because they came back 3-1, only team to do it, and they beat a 73-win team. I mean, they deserve some spot on the list.
No. All right, coming in at number 4 for me, this is how much I am not showing bias, people. It's a Celtics team. 1985-86 Boston Celtics, the year prior to the aforementioned 1987 Los Angeles Lakers. That Boston Celtics squad is probably, outside of like the Hall of Famers that were in the 60s, this is probably the best assembled Boston Celtics team that I've ever seen. 1986, they set the regular season record, still hold it to this day, record-breaking 40-1 at home in the regular season. I think only one other team has kind of tied that in the time since then. And this is now 40 years since that record was set. You had Bird, you had McHale, you had Parrish beating the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals, the Showtime Lakers. They beat Isaiah Thomas and the Pistons, I think, in the playoffs as well. So yeah, they beat like all-time great teams on the road to the championship. Larry Bird's probably best season is that season as well. So 86 Boston Celtics at number 4 for me.
Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge. I mean, they were stacked, that Celtics team. I'm in agreement. 85-86 Celtics. Just all around gritty squad. They would fight. Like, that was the year like the Celtics were fucking putting you on your ass, and then they'd stop you like in a timeout. Like, they were nuts, bro. They were crazy, and they were just a group of like just badass dudes that just played together. So definitely one of the best teams.
Dogs right there. The whole bunch of dogs on that Celtics team in 86 for sure. Who's your number 4?
I think you'll like this one. Number 4. That's number 4. 85-86.
Oh, you got 85-86 Celtics at number 4 as well? Oh, yes. Nice. See? Yeah. We're on the same page. All right, give me your number 3.
The 2000 to 2001 Los Angeles Lakers.
And look at that. Yes, I have the 2001 Los Angeles Lakers at number 3. I was so close to making them a top 2 team, but I was like, let me take my bias out of this. But man, that 2001 Lakers squad, man, that's the greatest. That to me is the greatest Lakers squad of all time. They I think they won 60 plus in the regular season, but the playoff run is what everybody remembers. Everybody talks about. 15-1 in the playoffs, record-breaking 8-0 on the road in the playoffs. Kobe and Shaq just dominating through the Western Conference, where they swept the entire Western Conference. They beat 4 50-win teams on the road to an NBA championship that no other team has been able to top that in a playoff run. That just Kobe and Shaq. I think Kobe averaged like 29 points per game in the Western Conference playoffs, and then he averaged like 25 points against the Philadelphia 76ers in the final. Shaq was dominant. He averaged 30 points in the Western Conference during the playoffs, and then 33 and 15 against Dikembe Mutombo, the defensive player of the year. Just got dominated in that 5-game series against the Philadelphia 76ers. The 2001 Lakers, it's dominance on a whole nother level that we got to see firsthand live in person.
Yeah, that Lakers team was scary. And the role, that's like the first team, like I feel like, where the role players started getting like love, because like Everybody was like Shaq and Kobe. But then like you got Derek Fisher going in there and like controlling the tempo. You got Robert Horry hitting threes when the fuck team's down one. Robert Horry's hitting the three to put you right back up. You know, they had guys coming off the bench that played hard. Their backup big was good. I can't remember his name right now, but like they had a really complete team, and they were fun to watch. As much as I didn't like them at the time, and in the Western Conference, I think to that run they beat the Kings. Right, C-Web, Bibby, that Kings team was stacked. They beat the Timberwolves, if I'm not mistaken.
They beat the Spurs, who had Tim Duncan, still David Robinson on that team. So yeah, it was ridiculous. They beat the Kings. I think they beat the Blazers again as well in that season.
So it was Blazers, Spurs, and then the Kings.
Yeah.
Because I remember that. I remember just seeing the Kings get this man. And Kings were like my favorite team in the West, and they were just getting smoked every game. I'm like, Chris Webber, you suck.
Yeah, the best team that I've ever seen from the Los Angeles Lakers. Like you got guys like Isaiah Ryder coming off the bench for them at that time. Yeah, Horace. I think Horace Grant was still on that team.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Samaki Walker was on that team as well. So, yeah, I remember that team vividly. Slava Medvedenko, our head cheerleader on the bench. Good times for the Lakers. So, yeah, 2001, both of our number 3. So, give me your number 2. This is where I think that we're going to have a difference of opinion. Give me your number 2.
Because this is where I got the Warriors. This is where I put the 2015, 2016, that 73 and 9 team Warriors. Right? It's hard. It's like you could put them anywhere on the list because they didn't get the job done and they didn't win the championship. They blew that 3-1 lead. But that doesn't undermine the dominance that they had all season. They were one of the best, like, in terms of point differential, like, teams in history. That Steph Curry run, like, that year is just unstoppable. It looked like they were destined to win that championship, but fortunately they didn't. I still think they deserve to be top 3 team, so I put them second.
I'm surprised by that. I think I'm gonna surprise you though with my number 2. The 1995-96 Chicago Bulls at number 2. They set the record for the regular season, most wins, 72-10. Just dominant in the regular season, and then in the playoffs they were also as equally dominating. I don't think not enough people like put as much reference or spotlight on the fact that they were just as dominant in the playoffs as they were in the regular season. They went 15-3 in the playoffs. You had Michael Jordan, you had Scottie Pippen, you got Dennis Rodman, you got Rodman with Defensive Player of the Year, you get Phil Jackson with Coach of the Year. Jordan wins the regular season MVP and then the finals MVP, and they also had the 6th Man of the Year with Tony Kukoc. This team was deep. This team was just stacked. It has the greatest player of all time, no question. Like, I don't argue with anyone who has this at number 1. I just think that there's one team that was better than those Chicago Bulls. One team. That's the only team that I have at number 1. But what was your number 1? Or do you want to hear my number 1?
I want to hear you because we already know who my number 1 is. I mean,
yeah, I know.
There's no way that fucking 95-96 Bulls was just dominance on another level. First full year back with Michael Jordan after the hiatus. Dennis Rodman, the missing piece. Just beautifully coached team. Well set up. Everybody on the team was clutch when they had to be. Like you said, Kukoc off the bench. Steve. I mean, the team was just complete. And they got the job done. So they're my number 1 team. But now I'm very curious. Who's your number 1 team?
It is the 2016-2017 Golden State Warriors, motherfucker. Like,
all right.
How dare you not put them on your list? How dare you?
KD bias. KD bias. That was a fucking cheat code of a motherfucking team that should have never even happened.
Yeah, that's the only team that I have twice of the 2 of a dynasty in my list. Is I had to show love to that 73-9 Golden State Warriors team. But no, the 2017 Warriors are just a video game squad. This shouldn't have been possible in NBA history, but it did happen. They have one of the best. They have the best start to a postseason ever with 15 straight wins. They had the record-breaking 16-1 in the playoffs. They topped the Lakers because you needed 16 wins to win in the playoffs instead of 15 like it was for the Lakers in 2001. So they go 16-1 in the playoffs. They were 67-15 in the regular season, and that's only because after they won 60 games, they were like, we're not going to do that again. We're not going to go for 70 wins again because that fucked us up in the end. So they just relaxed the rest of the season. That's the only reason they won 67 instead of 70. You have KD, you got Steph, you got Clay, you got Draymond, you got Iguodala. Yo, like this team is just so deep. It's so dominant. They also set the record for most games without a back-to-back loss from 2015 to this season in 2017. 146 games that they went without back-to-back losses. This team shouldn't have been possible, and it was. It did happen. So yes, there is a team that is greater than that 96 Bull squad, and I would put up against that 96 Bull squad and say that team will win. It is the 2017 Golden State Warriors.
I can't even argue that. I think at the expense of that 15-16 Cavs team and my Knicks team, two teams had to be sacrificed, and unfortunately, that Warriors team was one of them. Even though they were dominant as shit, I have a bias against those KD rings. I don't know why. I don't know. You know what? I wouldn't feel as bad, or I wouldn't have this bias if he would have now did how he did the Knicks with the whole Nets thing. So it's just give me a couple years to still like get over that. And we could put it to rest and we'll revisit this list, and I'm sure I'll have that team on it.
We'll revisit it. Well, I'll let you do the research, get the bias out, and we'll come back. We'll come back and do this again. Maybe we'll expand it to top 20 in a year or two. Maybe we'll do a top 20 greatest NBA teams.
Can't wait to put them on 18.
You would. I know you would. But yeah, that is our top 10 greatest NBA teams of all time. Had a lot of fun with this list. This was a fun list to research and look back on and assemble this one. As much as fun as I had with putting together the top 20 list, I think this was more fun to kind of weigh different teams against each other.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then you could throw in a little bit extra bias because there's actually grounds for it on this type of subject. So yeah, I had fun. I had a blast.
Yeah, I have 3 Lakers teams in my top 10.
I mean, yeah, no bias. I mean, I got like the only Knicks championship team besides their 73 team. So I mean, there's gonna be a little bias in there. It's fine.
There's a little bias. There's a little bit. Five of my teams are just Lakers and Warriors.
Yeah, whole West Coast, just a whole West Coast list.
Oh man, good times. But yes, we've come to an end of another edition of Tru Heel Heat Check. Had a lot of fun talking about our top 10 best NBA teams of all time and all of the news going on in the NBA world. And we want to hear from y'all as well. Let us know in the comments down below who do you think is the greatest NBA team of all time? And of course, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you are new to Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment. Chris G, let the people know where they can follow you on social media and when they'll see you again.
Yeah, you can find me at THCG on Instagram and TikTok. You can find me here on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment channel, talking basketball, maybe some football here and there. I don't know. I'll pop up here and there. Then you can find me on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling channel. Got some reviews, some stuff coming up. You can catch me doing the shorts for both channels. So every time you hear voiceover, it's me.
Indeed. His soothing voice. Yes, and definitely check out.
Baby's asleep.
a lot of babies. But yes, appreciate y'all for joining us for another Tru Heel Heat Check. And let us know also in the comments down below, what do you want our next list to be on? Do you want greatest point guards, greatest two guards? We could do positions. We could do Mount Rushmore for the other teams we talked about previously as well. So let us know in the comments what you want us to list next on the next episode of Tru Heel Heat Check. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. I will be on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel on Wednesday at 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time with our TNA Genesis 2026 preview, also previewing the AMC debut with Joel Pearl. So if you're watching this now, you could probably go on there right now and go over and check that out. And me and Chris G will be together to review TNA Genesis over the weekend. So go over and subscribe to Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel if you haven't already as well. But we'll see you next time on the next edition of Tru Heel Heat Check. For Chris G, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. And this has been Tru Heel Heat Check, number 20, top 10 NBA teams ever. We are signing off until next time.
I'm adding the 2025 Knicks after this year.